The Biden and Trump administrations have been almost identical in terms of their Middle East policy. Remember, Biden said he was going to go back to the nuclear deal with Iran. That never happened. He said he was going to reopen the US Consulate in Jerusalem. That didn't happen. Nothing was done on the Israeli-Palestinian front until October 7th occurred. And in fact, what Biden was doing was essentially continuing what Trump had done with the Abraham Accords, trying to normalize relations between Israel and Saudi Arabia as part of a sort of complicated diplomatic bank shot that would also involve security guarantees for the Saudis. That, of course, all got put on hold when October 7th happened. But it's hard to see a big change between the Trump administration's approach to the Middle East and what the Biden administration was doing up until October 7th. Since then, of course, there's been very little daylight, really, between the United States and Israel. Lots of stories about how the Americans are frustrated, but support is continuing. There's no sense that we're really actually going to condition American aid. And we're just waiting to see when the fighting actually stops in Gaza. So I don't see either a future Biden administration or a future Trump administration having a fundamentally different policy towards most of the Middle East, and probably not even on Iran. I think almost everyone who's looked carefully at this realizes that a further expansion of the war in the Middle East, to include Lebanon, bringing in Iran possibly, would be a disaster for everyone. So again, I just don't see a whole lot of difference between how Trump would probably handle the Middle East and how the Biden administration has handled it up until now.
The last point's the most interesting, of course, because in a considerably less unstable environment at the end of the Trump administration, Trump decided to assassinate Qasem Soleimani, who was the head of the Iranian Defense Forces. Now, here we have an environment where the Iranians are engaging actively in a proxy war against U.S. interests across the region, and indeed with 3 American servicemen and women getting killed in Jordan in the past weeks. Now, Biden's response was very careful, very cautious, back-channeling to the Iranians, try to make sure that there wasn't an expansion or escalation. You think that Trump would act similarly in that environment?
Yeah, I think, again, assassinating Soleimani was probably the boldest thing that Trump did. There were other planned attacks on Iran that he actually vetoed at the last minute on a number of occasions. And most of what the Biden administration has done has been to respond against Iranian proxies, most notably the Houthis in Yemen. But I don't think that either side, either the Iranians or the Americans, want to get into a serious test of military strength there, particularly given what has happened already in the Middle East, the damage that that's done to America's image elsewhere in the world. For the United States to get involved in yet another large Middle East war, it seems to me is contrary to our interests, but it's also contrary to most of Donald Trump's instincts. He doesn't mind demonstrations of military strength, dropping bombs, sending cruise missiles in small numbers, things like that. But big wars are one of the things he ran against in 2016, and he's continued to oppose.